Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, the latest on the plane crash involving 3 cars near Victoria East High School.
A house fire in Jackson County leaves 1 person dead.
And a Lego heist, how 2 men allegedly stole thousands of dollars from stores without using guns.
We're looking for one more cold morning tomorrow morning, but then things start warming up as the south wind kicks in. We'll be talking about that and your weekend coming up.
And the Shawna Comanches look to advance the state championship tomorrow night versus the Bremen Tigers. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie.
And I'm Brubaker.
A plane crash in Victoria sparks a major investigation as officials work to figure out what went wrong. Local, state, and federal agencies will be on the scene for possibly days.
We're following developments closely to bring you the latest updates. We're also sharing video of the plane just before the crash and immediately after.
Here in this video, you can see the plane come out of the top right side of this dash cam video flying at a low altitude. Then we go to another video here. This is actually from a student who was walking home from East High School when that plane flew just overhead. You then see the plane land on the feeder road and then continue into the intersection of Zach Lentz Parkway and Mockingbird.
That's where the plane crashed with 3 vehicles. You'll see witnesses rush to the wreckage to help those involved. The plane is split into 2 pieces, first responders racing to the scene.
And of course, you see people there trying to help, trying to, just figure out what's going on. It was definitely a shock for everyone that we talked to. Here's a live look now.
This is the scene now, and here's the latest on what we know. The plane went down just around 3 this afternoon at Zach Lentz Parkway and Mockingbird. 3 vehicles were involved.
The Piper PA-31 twin engine took off from the Victoria Regional Airport just before 10 this morning. Flight records show just before the crash a dramatic decrease in altitude when contact with the plane was lost.
The plane is owned by Mark Incorporated, which does survey work across the country. The plane, which is 43 years old, also flew on Monday and last Wednesday and Friday. And as I mentioned, it was manufactured in 1981.
Now, there were 5 people involved. 4 of them were taken to the hospital, 3 with non-life-threatening injuries. 1 person was transferred to a higher level trauma facility out of town, and we are working to get an update on all of those conditions.
The intersection of Zach Lentz Parkway and Mockingbird is closed until further notice. This means traffic changes for Victoria East High School and other drivers needing to travel through that area. No through traffic is allowed. All school traffic must go down Mockingbird Lane from John Stockbauer. Drivers are asked to allow extra time and be patient and mindful of traffic.
The State Fire Marshal's office is investigating a deadly house fire in Jackson County. The Ganado Volunteer Fire Department and Jackson County Emergency Services Department 3 were called to the house on FM 1157 around 10:20 last night. By the time they arrived, flames had completely engulfed the house. Firefighters found 1 person dead inside.
Refugio County Commissioners extend a burn ban in the county this week. They're also banning the sale and use of some aerial fireworks in unincorporated areas. The fireworks banned are skyrockets with sticks and missiles with fins. DeWitt County Commissioners have put the same ban in place. And this brings us to our viewer poll for today. Do you think all fireworks should be prohibited under a burn ban? Yes or no? 85% of our voters say yes, they think fireworks should be prohibited when a county or a city are under a burn ban. We thank you for voting. We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. Calhoun County Commissioners meet Friday to discuss filling the county judge vacancy. Commissioners plan to meet at 3 p.m. Friday in a special meeting. Richard Myers served as county judge for Calhoun County until he died last month. Calhoun County Commissioner for Precinct 2, Vern Lissy, is serving as pro tem county judge.
Here are some of the top headlines that you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. Memorial Medical Center reports positive income for October, and Calhoun County nears completion of a solar light project. You can read these stories and more at portlavacawave.com. All right, so it looks like we're going to be warming up a little bit from these chilly temperatures we've had the last couple of nights. But let's check in with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Matt Perez with our first look at weather. Matt.
Thank you, Shawna. We got one more cold night. That's tonight, and we'll get down into the 30s again, just like we did this morning. We did get down to 30 degrees. It'll be in the 30s in the morning, but then it'll warm up dramatically during the day as the south wind kicks in. And by the time we get to the weekend, we'll be looking at temperatures in the upper 70s. We'll talk about that, and we'll take a look at your 7-day coming up in just a minute. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Mac. An alleged theft ring built brick by brick. Texas authorities arrest 2 men accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Lego sets.
They reportedly hit stores in Texas, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, and Florida.
The DPS accuses Brian Fleming and Ladarian Anderson of a layered scheme, one that did not require guns. The pair from Lancaster allegedly stole from big box stores in 4 states, but most often in DFW. Investigators say they bought small $1 or $2 items at those stores, then altered their receipts to make it look like they bought more expensive Lego sets. Later, their partners returned to the stores, nabbed the Legos, and walked out. If a clerk stopped them, they'd produce the faked receipt. Court documents say they made off with merch worth at least $3,900 from this store in Euless, $3,100 from this one in Grand Prairie, and nearly $1,500 from this Target in North Richland Hills. Over 2 years, the group of as many as 10 people is accused of stealing more than $400,000 in merchandise. They allegedly sold the Lego sets to a dealer who flipped them on Amazon or eBay for a profit. Though Walmart and Target were already onto the scheme, a state trooper happened to pull over a car with stolen merchandise inside. The detectives traced to Fleming and Anderson.
A procession was held this morning for a fallen North Texas police officer. First responders escorted the body of Jacob Candanoza from the medical examiner's office in Dallas back to Terrell. The Terrell police officer was shot and killed Sunday night during a traffic stop. A candlelight vigil was set to be held tonight to honor Officer Candanoza. Meta says a technical issue caused a widespread outage Wednesday on apps like Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Many users reported issues with Meta's apps. On outage tracking site Down Detector, Instagram logged almost 70,000 reports by mid-afternoon Wednesday, while Facebook had up to 105,000 outage reports. The impact on Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp was far less, under 15,000.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. That way if Meta's down, you have YouTube as a backup.
There you go. There you go.
Well, coming up on 25 News Now at 10, a new defense bill includes a controversial ban on gender-affirming care for some military families. What's next as the bill heads to the Senate?
Also ahead, the FDA proposes cutting nicotine in cigarettes, what it means for tobacco products, and when changes could take effect.
The House of Representatives passes a defense policy bill, which includes a ban of gender-affirming care for some transgender children. It will now head to the Senate for a vote. The National Defense Authorization Act is considered must-pass legislation and was the result of a bipartisan compromise. But it includes a provision to prevent the military's health program, TRICARE, from covering gender-affirming care for transgender children of service members. House Speaker Mike Johnson touted the ban as part of Republicans' effort to cut $31 billion in, quote, inefficient programs, obsolete weapons, and bloated Pentagon bureaucracy.
The NYPD says they have the evidence linking the suspect in the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson to the crime. The defense attorney representing Luigi Mangione says his client will plead not guilty.
ABC's Rena Roy is following the developments from New York.
New forensic evidence potentially linking 26-year-old Luigi Mangione to the New York City crime scene, where United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down 1 week ago. Police saying fingerprints recovered from a water bottle and granola bar found at the scene match the fingerprints taken from Mangione in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where he was arrested Monday. The gun police say they found on Mangione also linking him to the scene.
We were able to match that gun to the 3 shell casings that we found in Midtown at the scene of the homicide.
A judge denying bail. Mangione fighting extradition to New York, where he faces second-degree murder charges. Mangione's defense attorney says he plans to plead not guilty to those charges.
We've seen no evidence. That's one of the many reasons why we're challenging the extradition at this point, so we can see some evidence and get a little more detailed information about the charges against Luigi.
Law enforcement officials telling ABC News when Mangione was arrested, he had a spiral notebook with writings about planning to kill Thompson. Writing in part, "What do? You whack the CEO at the annual parasitic bean counter convention," seemingly referring to the investors conference Thompson was walking into when he was shot. Sources say detectives are still examining Mangione's writings, but are considering the contents of the notebook to represent a possible confession. Pennsylvania investigators have also started interviewing members of Mangione's family, who he seemed to have been estranged from. His mother filing a missing persons report last month, according to law enforcement sources. Since the killing, corporate executives have faced increased threats of doxing, targeted harassment, and violence, according to a law enforcement bulletin obtained by ABC News. The document includes a photo of this banner draped on a highway overpass that includes the words "deny, defend, depose," the same words police said were found on shell casings at the scene of Thompson's murder. New York's governor says she'll sign the governor's warrant from the Manhattan District Attorney, an effort to force extradition from Pennsylvania to New York. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
California health officials are investigating if a child who got sick after drinking raw milk last month had bird flu. The child tested positive for influenza A and has since recovered. But further tests are underway to confirm if it was the H5N1 bird flu, which has been linked to raw dairy products and continues to spread among birds and livestock. So far this year, 58 human bird flu cases have been reported in the U.S., mostly in farm workers exposed to infected animals. Scientists are closely watching for any signs the virus could spread more easily among people. Well, it's time for some holiday cheer, but as you get together with friends and family, you're likely to be tempted by all of the goodies that you're not used to indulging in.
I think I know what you're talking about. Experts say maintaining your health over the holidays is not impossible. In today's Health Minute, information on how to avoid holiday weight gain.
From holiday cookies to cakes and carbs, overdoing it on holiday treats can be the gift that keeps on giving.
The average person gains about a half a pound to 1 pound during the holiday season.
Dr. Jesse Bracamonte with Mayo Clinic says many people don't lose that weight. Over time, it can add up.
It puts us at risk for problems such as diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, some types of inflammatory problems, such as even some cancers.
Maintaining a healthy weight during the holidays can be hard. Bracamonte says it's okay to enjoy food you love, but be strategic.
Stay on your focused mealtime plans, which means if you have breakfast, have your breakfast. Stick to your lunch. Try not to overindulge and skip meals.
Bracamonte says to limit sugary drinks and alcohol, which can add empty calories. Remember to keep up with exercise, even a 10-minute walk before or after holiday gatherings. Control your stress level. We tend to eat more when we're stressed, and don't graze at those gatherings.
Have a small plate to place the food on rather than doing the eat and peck method. You tend to eat more calories with that. Having a smaller plate may help to kind of limit those calories.
Finally, slow down and savor the holiday food.
You're typically going to be more conscientious of what goes in your mouth. And plus, what goes in your mouth, you must enjoy.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mayo Clinic experts say if you do drink alcohol over the holidays, try alternating a cocktail with water or carbonated water with some flavoring to save a few calories.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration proposed a rule that could lower the amount of nicotine in tobacco products. The FDA has been developing the rule since 2022, which would require tobacco companies to reduce the amount of nicotine in traditional cigarettes. The agency submitted the proposal to the Office of Management and Budget on Tuesday. There won't be any immediate changes to tobacco products. The Office of Management and Budget's approval process could take months. There will also be a public comment period on the proposal. It's also unclear what the FDA will do with such a proposal under President-elect Donald Trump. Here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Currie Record. 2 types of fireworks are banned by DeWitt County commissioners, and DeWitt County first responders share the Christmas spirit. You can read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's 44 degrees right about now. We are looking for one more cold morning. Temperatures getting down into the 30s tonight. This morning we were at 30 officially, and our high was 66. We've already dropped to 25 degrees. It's going to be a cold morning, but by tomorrow afternoon, the south wind kicks in and it's starting to get a little bit warmer with a little bit of cloud cover coming over the next few days. And we'll have your forecast right after this. With cool, dry air, the temperature drops more dramatically. When the humidity is up, the temperature doesn't fall. So tomorrow morning, we'll be back to the 30s, so it'll be a cold morning. But by afternoon, we're going to start picking up a south wind. That brings back the humidity. All of a sudden, we'll be much milder than we have been for the last couple mornings. East Coast, well, that storm is finally moving offshore. Cold fronts are now moving pretty rapidly straight out of the north, but this one's not going to be much of an impact on us. What we're looking at is out here. As a matter of fact, on the west coast, and also all this cloud mass will be riding up and over on top of us. As a result, we're not going to see a whole lot of sun by tomorrow, well, the next day. We're looking at, oops, I'm sorry, I went too fast on that. We're looking at about 38 in the city, okay? But that means, you know, there'll be a 35 or a 34 out there. So bottom line, it will be chilly. But the good news is there's no big wind to worry about. In fact, the wind will be turning around. That's why tomorrow we'll get up to about 69. And we'll even get warmer than that as we get into the weekend, because you can see right about here, you see that southeast wind returning. What does it bring back with it? Humid Gulf air. So there you go for your Thursday. Clouds will start to increase. There you go on your Friday, very cloudy right about there, or actually Thursday night. And then Friday, definitely on the damp side. Now, what you see here, these green blobs, this is light rain. Winter rain is, well, it's styrofoam, and that means it's just kind of even, kind of a heavy mist to maybe some light drizzle. I don't expect anything more than 1/10 of an inch of rain out of it, but it will be damp and will stay on the cloudy, damp side right on through Friday and all the way into Saturday. And it's not till Monday when we actually get a cold front that moves through the region. Here's another view. This is only the precipitation that's expected, so you can see that by Thursday night late, it'll be right offshore, and that Gulf air rolls up, gives us a little bit of a drizzle here on Friday. And then on Saturday, a little bit more of a drizzle. As you see right there on Sunday, more of a drizzle. Now, this will hopefully will add up into something meaningful, but the punchline is that we're looking at a cloudy, damp, and rather mild temperature pattern as we get until that front comes through. But it's not a huge cold front. It's only going to drop the temperatures maybe 10 or 15 degrees. So tomorrow morning we'll be in the upper 30s in Port Lavaca, getting up to 44 by sunrise and 68 as a high temperature. Notice that the clouds do get thick during the day. In Cuero, you'll definitely be down to the low 30s tonight, and then get up to about 68 degrees by afternoon. You'll see that southeast winds are definitely going to be kicking in. So one cold morning, one more, and then clouds begin to thicken. Cloudy and dreary or damp on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Best chance of any significant rain will be on Monday when that next front comes through. And that, like I said, that front on Monday is just kind of a front. It's only going to drop the temperature about 10 to 12 degrees. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. If you scan that with your cell phone, you can put Crossroads a day right on your phone. And that's it from weather. We'll remind everybody about that we did all that. Well, now it's time for sports. Here's Maxwell.
All right, thanks, Mac. Tonight we are presenting our Athlete of the Week. Who will it be? Find out here in a few minutes in sports. All right, Crossroads. So we usually have our athlete of the week here on Thursday night here in the Crossroads, but we're going to change it up because we've got all of our area teams playing tomorrow. So we decided to move it up here today. And who's it going to be for our athlete of the week? It's going to go to Ganado running back Logan Burris. Here's 25 News Now sports reporter Ray Robinson for this week's athlete of the week.
With your athlete of the week, we're going to give you a glimpse into what the future could look like for Ganado football. That's right, just a sophomore, Logan Burris made his presence felt in the quarterfinals matchup that saw the Ganado Indians take on the Marvin Bulldogs. His performance was one to take note of.
I feel really good. Obviously, we got the win, round 4. I feel like we had a lot of stuff to work on, so that's always good.
Okay, man.
Yeah, we played a great game defensively, and we hit them hard, and we kept getting after it.
Last Friday, he finished with 142 yards and a touchdown. Burris also leads his team in rushing with 100 yards per game. But underneath the great play you may see on the field, Logan points out how well the leaders of his team guide him and others throughout the season.
No, I feel no pressure. The upperclassmen are really great guys, and I feel like I've always followed in their footsteps, and they taught me everything.
Logan's ability to listen and adapt on the field is one that head coach Josh Irvin doesn't take for granted.
For sure, yeah. Logan's done a great job running the ball, playing receiver at times, and it's all possible due to how the offensive line's blocking. But he's doing a great job, and we're excited to see him keep it going.
Let's wish Logan Burris, head coach Josh Irvin, and the Ganado Indians good luck this week as they take on the Joaquin Bulldogs. Ray Robinson, KVU TV 25 News Now, Sports.
All right, props again there to running back Logan Burris for being this week's athlete of the week. But now we move up north there to the Shawna Comanches. They're looking to get back to the state championship here next Wednesday night if they can get a big win tomorrow versus the Bremen Tigers. And last week, starting quarterback Carson Schutte had a big game on offense, scoring a rushing touchdown versus the Junction Eagles and getting 2 big interceptions to help the Comanches get the win. And also the Comanches, they need to rely on the running game as well in this game, control the time possession. They want to get the big win there tomorrow night. And again, I just gave you a quick preview of the game. Now we're going to look at today's sports viewer poll. We're asked, do you think Shawna will advance to the state championship game next Wednesday night? Yes or no? And a majority of you, just like from the 6 o'clock, are saying yes, that they're going to win this game here again for tomorrow. Props up to Shawna, see if they can get the job done. Now over to the NFL. Former New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick is headed to North Carolina, everyone. The 6-time Super Bowl winner will be the next football coach for the Tar Heels. The school and Belichick agreed it'll be a 5-year deal, which still needs approval from the University Board of Trustees. Belichick spent his entire coaching career in the NFL, but left after 2023 season. His 24 years with the Patriots include 6 championships and 333 wins. Belichick is replacing Mac Brown. Brown was fired just before the end of the 2024 regular season. The Tar Heels have not won a conference title there since 1980s. We'll see if Belichick can turn around there going into next season. And then quickly, update there if you're, again, a Houston Cougars fan. You guys got a chance to get Connor Wegman there, the quarterback there, transferred over from Texas A&M now, going to Houston. And then quickly here, the Rockets, they are playing the Warriors right now in the 3rd quarter. Last I checked, they were up 59-58. Again, if the Rockets win, they'll play the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're in the semifinals of the NBA Cup. That's going to do it here in sports. Don and Shawna, back to you.
Thank you, Max. And by the way, best of luck to all 4 area high school football teams tomorrow night in the state semifinals. Wouldn't that be great if all 4 went to Jerry World next week to play for state?
That would be awesome.
Fantastic. Hey, stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, get ready to smile. See the hilarious winners of this year's Comedy Wildlife Photography Awards.
2 weeks to go until Christmas. That's hard to believe. There is still time to finish your holiday shopping, but your holiday shipping, that's another story. Deadlines for shipping packages in time for Christmas are quickly approaching. For the U.S. Postal Service's ground shipping, the deadline is December 18th within the lower 48 states. For USPS Priority Mail Express, you have until December 21st. For FedEx, the deadline for 5-day shipping is December 17th, or you can cut it as close as Christmas Eve with same-day shipping. The deadline for UPS is December 19th or December 23rd with next day air. Of course, the prices vary significantly depending on the service that you choose and how quickly you want or need that package to arrive.
Keep that in mind.
Yes.
This Sunday is the BMW Dallas Marathon, and for some it may be their first, but for Troy Pruitt it will be his 97th. Wow. Troy's goal is to finish 100 marathons despite a life-changing challenge. Troy was diagnosed with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, last year after losing the use of his legs and speech. Unable to run, his friends now push him in his Grinch costume. Troy's wife, Laura, is always there, kissing him at every finish line. Their message is very simple: choose hope and keep moving forward. The BMW Dallas Marathon has been a Texas tradition since 1971. Wow. He may not finish first, but he is a winner, folks. Look at that guy.
Yes.
Wow.
And he's got a village behind him who's willing to do the marathon right along with him.
That is just fantastic, fantastic. Is it good weather in the morning to do some running?
I think you've got to run, otherwise you get cold.
Yeah.
You got to do a little jogging early in the morning because it's going to be rather brisk down into the 30s. If you're going outside in the morning to at least do the walk, then consider, several layers. Otherwise, we're looking for warming weather. By tomorrow afternoon, will be almost 70 degrees, then cloudy and damp for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's not exactly going to be a beautiful weekend, but I think it's going to be that kind of weekend, makes you want to go shopping and do a little Christmas wrapping. That's
We got to get that done too.
that's what I have to do.
Yes.
I got to do wrap all the presents. Yeah. I shop, so you wrap. Okay.
Yeah, I need to wrap them so they're not all hidden and I don't have to worry about anyone finding them.
Well, that's true.
Well, the winners of this year's Nikon Comedy Wildlife Photography Awards are in, and a squirrel caught in a nutty-looking predicament took the top spot. The photo shows the moment a red squirrel got stuck as it scurried its way into the trunk of a tree. The image was one of over 9,000 entries. The organizers said that's the most entries the competition has received in its 10-year history. Oh, look at that frog. The category winners include a praying mantis that appears to be striking a pose, a surprising roll swap with a fed-up fish chasing a bald eagle. There's also that frog with an awkward smile on its face, and another with its head in a bubble. And look at those sweet
the lovebirds.
Yes, the birds, owls. So those are some really fun photos to look at. So, well, thanks for joining us tonight for 25 News Now at 10.
And for the latest on the plane crash today, go to our website, crossroadstoday.com, and join Carolina Astroim, meteorologist Parker Cox. 25 News Now Sunrise starting at 5 a.m. Good night.